I'm not ever gonna speak on it.
Yeah. Alright. Like ball. Girl, what you doing tonight? Yeah. I can put you on a flight. Yeah. Flights. In the sky like a beautiful kite. Yeah. You just might confuse it with Christ. Yeah. Flights. Yeah. I was like, oh no. Whoever you thought it was, Mr. Dolo. Oh no. Yeah. You was like, oh no. Whatever you thought it was, bitch, I'm no. Oh no. My bad, I ain't really mean to call you out your name. I only want you, I tell you now, girl, I'm out the game. Without the plane, I don't see you going that far. Tell me where we can go in that car. Without no gas, bitch, I bet you think I know magic. That's why I'm rolling, and I'm all alone. Lights, bitch, I'm rolling, and I'm all alone. Lights, bitch, I'm smoking. Light chicks with Joe. Lights, told me you are not at home. Baby, you are not alone. But there's some things I gotta know, yeah. Can't see no one girl gonna start the show. Why you make that crazy face when you drop your phone, yeah. Girl, don't worry, I'ma make you crazy. The pussy murder was the case they gave me. I was in the affirmation, playing an angel horse. Don't about to go to angel form. Uriel, what you hating for? 16, I'm like a canker store. Wherever I be, I like an ain't no floor. I don't even know the time like 804. All these clothes I made them for. You and yours, I'ma take you on tour. Always dressed like the pilot man, that's my uniform. A unicorn with this rap shit. This magic across the atlas. Ass shits from that grass bitch. My last bitch was too ratchet. I left her alone. Flights. I'm on to the next one, let it be known. I'm just in the past, I'm letting it go. Fight for us, so you know. I'm rolling, and I'm all alone. Lights, bitch, I'm rolling, and I'm all alone. Lights, bitch, I'm smoking. Light chicks and Joe. Lights, told me you are not at home.
Masasaki. Masasaki, yeah. For that, tears of joy, the tears that gives us wept. For that. Now look, check this out. We gonna understand what seasons you is in your household. You know what I'm saying? In your internal house, your internal space, your internal energy and things of that nature. Because for the most part, people don't be understanding. We all go through phases. We all go through cycles. But for the most part, here's the thing. You got your time of the year, aka your seasons you go through. And some of us go through a particular season longer than we should. Because externally, God be showing us seasons change. But you be stuck in one season for a long period of time. And it stretch out. And I want y'all to keep this in mind. 90 days per slash 90 degrees overcome a whole season or whatever the case may be. But when we talk about the internal world, this more of the eternal. So time is what we're creating. So when you create a mind state, you're creating a concept of a starting point. That's birth, it having life, that's it living, it reaching deterioration, that it's reaching an elder state, and then that get ready to expire. It get ready to formulate as a fleshly fluid, but then we see those characteristics in reality as spring, summer, fall, winter, birth, life, deterioration, death. But it's not death in the spiritual world. It's just you're getting ready to transform and do the same thing you just previously did in a new way. Boom, spark, mind. boom, it having life, boom, it deteriorating, and boom, it condensing and going through that process of the freezing stage, it becoming a living organ or whatever. And then we just see these things physically transition, and y'all get scared at the aspect when it comes into your life, because you like everything that you made from this mind, and then the organ, and then what you accumulated, because the body mimicked the mind and the mind mimicked the spirit, and you don't think that you getting ready to do that again because of the process of it or whatever the case. You see what I'm saying? Poor me, y'all. So you be in weird concepts where you might be in a certain season longer than you supposed to, and then that season to be playing out in other areas where it's supposed to be cold and distant, and you being too hot or whatever. Then that creates too much temperature, wrong time, wrong place, you explosive on the wrong things type energies. It might be time you're supposed to be a little calm, cool, and collected, and it's time to heat up. It might be times where you in a harvest type of energy, but it's a time to be fruitful and create. So all of this is going to be spectrums. And then I'm also going to correlate it to astrology too, so you can understand it in that spectrum. But it'd be a starting point. So when you start to look at it with this train of thought and line of reasoning, it goes beyond astrology, and you'll be able to do these things on your own without it being the time that the moon is going through a certain sign or the sun, or without it just being particularly you having certain planets in certain houses. Is you understanding the energy, and then you being a spirit god or goddess, and you creating a circumstance, you creating an archetype out of your own energies. So you have no choice but to do it how your natural natal is, and you have no choice but to live the same days everybody else is living. So that's going to be the planets in the sky, whatever the case may be, but or the sun and the moon in its pockets. But at the same time, right, knowing how to compare and contrast what you're creating out of what you're already doing. You're not expecting what you already doing or your natal to be the reason you manifested or be the reason you made a mistake. No, you just know that's my archetype on how I'm doing something. But what I'm doing, I could possibly be doing something just like somebody else, playing basketball, volleyball, if you're a female, whatever. But how I do it, that's what's gonna make me unique or whatever. So for the most part, this is how you're supposed to look at it, and don't look at it as the divination concept of astrology. Because when you look at it like the divination concept of it, it puts you in a situation of you thinking or you expecting your chart and your energy itself to do these things, and then it leads into other retarded type of concepts. You start thinking your chart or who you are, because you share a zodiac sign like someone else, that means y'all the same. Or and then when you don't experience that, that's all the reason for you to not care about astrology or something like that. So it'll be a lot of things that y'all be having the wrong starting points of looking at. And what I'm getting ready to talk about don't even necessarily have to do with astrology, but for the most part, it's a good way to be able to, if you aware of astrology in the houses a little bit, to be able to make it make sense in your mind, so you could put it in a timing, or you could put it in a specific pocket. Anytime you're in a situation where you have a know-how, it lessens the percentage scale of you feeling vulnerable or naked, because that's all your spirit is experiencing when you feel vulnerable or naked or belittled or something like that. You lack a know-how mentally or physically, and you're left at the hands of others or the environment or the situation and circumstance itself to teach you. And spirits start to get in the negative side of unfamiliarity, the negative side of uncomfortability. So they pull for anything that they do know, even if it don't match it. And that leads into concepts mentally of prejudging and running away from a situation, not knowing that it ain't that deep, and even physically, because you can't see something physically there that represent what you're familiar with, you automatically chalk it up to it's wrong. So you end up running away from new experiences. And that's ultimately what we all here to do, because that's the first form of awareness. So you got your first new experience was you experiencing what you just created, your first body, your mind. So you always going to be doing what we did first, trying to find that, and it get less and less on a percentage scale of doing it, the more layers you get lost in by creating a mind and body and things of that nature. The mechanisms that you take to do it become the most grand procedure, but the more you get combined in them, the more the original state be less on a percentage scale of you being aware of what you just did, because you start to get used to other things and adding on things. And And the actual concept of what your spirit gonna be doing anyway is just doing it in more diluted versions, more percentage scales of doing it for mixed matchers of other things and other concepts and stuff like that, to the point that your spirit always gonna be doing what it's doing. It just forgot it's doing what it's doing. Forgot what it was after a while. Once the mind start creating bodies, the first body is the mind. Once it start creating other forms of minds, and then it started creating duplicates, so it could be organs now and stuff like that. Man, spirits then got lost. So the world is your mind. So your own personal world is your mind, and teamwork makes the dream work. All y'all minds, y'all breaths that it condenses as when that y'all all breathing, every animal and stuff like that. Even when it comes to certain humans and geographical location, this is how a bunch of the first sicknesses happen. A lot of times, it wasn't even really people catching diseases and stuff. It's just being on a different land and then interacting with different humans and stuff, and starting to touching people and stuff. That's DNA. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand these things. But all these things vary. Oh, I had another point too. I don't want to miss my point. Even when it comes to certain humans and geographical locations. No. Then it started creating duplicates. Oh yeah. So so you get diluted from knowing that what you're originally doing to make the things that you're diluted in the first place. So your spirit always doing things that it was originally doing. It just got multiple versions of doing it when you create a mind body. And then once it been there and going to the physical body, you done totally got lost. But the world is our mind. So you live a different world than a monkey. You live a different world than a fish. You live in a different world than an alligator. You live in a different world than an owl and things of that nature. But we share the same existence. We just live in different worlds and different bodies. The mind condense and become the body. So the group of spirits that share a particular space pocket based upon their washing machine cycle and incarnation, reincarnation, you know what I'm saying? Because carnation is creating. Incarnation is going inside of what you created. Reincarnation is the ability to transform or to experience it, go through transitions when you're within it before transform and expire and things of that nature. So these are things beyond how scientists trying to help you understand it, where you can't get away from these aspects, for lack of better words, that we experience every day. That's the same context. Even regeneration or death and rebirth. We can see a cloud be born from the condensity of light, then it condense and become a cloud. And then for the most part, we can see it having that birth, light, life, cloud, deterioration, condensing, and then death. It become an actual water. Then when it evaporate, that's the Holy Ghost. So for the most part, on the mini walk or whatever the case may be, this is what we're piggybacking, how your spirit's supposed to be light, or light as the feather and things of that nature, not heavy as the extreme water, as your emotions would be extreme, would make you heavy and things of that nature. But for the most part, seeing water evaporate is showing us on a micro scale as you being a minor micro version of that, with your physical body made out of 70% water and things of that nature. So when this die, as a spirit, you get to make another version of that, just like we see another cloud and another day. Thank God. Yahuwah. And rest in peace, everybody who didn't get to see another day, but they did. You just don't understand it that way. And when you're not connected with your family in certain ways and stuff like that, and do certain practices, this is how y'all get all over the place. Then your mother end up being born with her best friends. Your sister, your brothers end up being born with their best friends, or whoever in their families and stuff like that. Not knowing, they don't know a lot of them. They might know a little bit because how close they was for that to happen. Because spiritually they're in that space, connect with the mind enough, and then it become the fleshly fluid to match the physical fleshly body attributes too. So that becomes how physical family become. That don't mean y'all spirit family, y'all from different spiritual pockets. That's why you have your own subjective ideas and stuff. But you don't be knowing all the intricates, and you be born in a family where there's already stuff going on that was really messed up for the person you was close to even be born in that person's family. And then for the most part, you start experiencing things that ain't for you, that now it is for you. You attach yourself to that person, and now you start to experience everything that came with them when you start to get born in their circumstance. So a lot of times when y'all not connected and have no culture or no practice of stuff, you not only do y'all already be all over the place when y'all already alive, y'all be all over the place also after you die. You know what I'm saying? These are things y'all got to take serious. I know this might sound, but see, that's why God made me live in a hood, come back 2025, 2026, this time and stuff like that, so y'all can get the nutrients of 150 years ago, the nutrients of 300 years ago, and the stuff that was always sustaining no matter what we got lost in and we hear now. There's always a moral system that no matter what continent and no matter what everybody at, all ethnic groups, everybody is able to understand this in some way, shape, or form. And it goes beyond what we create as a group effort for us to connect with each other and based off survival mode and making money and stuff like that. These things go beyond that, and all spirits check this first before they even present themselves in relationships outwardly and doing things in the world and stuff like that. These things be more important. This be the things you worry about to even if you had a good job, you will quit that mama. You know what I'm saying? When this ain't right. Stuff I'm talking about, when this aspect ain't right, this make you get up and divorce real fast, even if it wasn't nothing going wrong and stuff like that. Now, people do this in unhealthy areas, so a person to jump up and make their kids bastards and stuff like that or whatever, don't do no stuff like that. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, a person can have all the stuff that we learned from Walt Disney in the world that you would sit from the distance and be like, man, if I was this person, I'd do that. We're making this person frustrated or whatever the case may be. A lot of times, a hurt feeling will make a person slit their wrists and stuff like that. You know, things be wow. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a millionaire that you think everything all good because of your position, but that position that they in, they start taking credence to other things, and it might be somebody that they care about that they want to think a certain way that they don't, and then they say something, then that drive this person crazy. They'd throw it all away. They ran off a bridge and they knew Tesla or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then we all trying to figure out like, damn, this person's stupid because, man, you don't know what kind of trauma people be going through. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what kind of trauma. That's why I never judge people and stuff like that when it comes to that. Even when it comes to, because I live in the hood, there's a lot of people that based off their habits and they life or whatever that they doing, you can kind of put larger on a percentage scale of why you kind of mentally spank them every now and then. But when they start saying other stuff and things of that nature, don't throw it all, the bath water all out with the baby or whatever, how you call it, or whatever the case may be, because it's a real thing. Spirituality is real. People do see stuff. I mean, you can kind of compartmentalize all the time, like, well, it ain't have to make you be a bum or it ain't have to make you do that. But at the same time, don't throw everything a person is saying, especially bums and stuff. Guys, don't throw everything out the window what they be saying, because if you live a real life in spirituality and God came to you in certain ways, you will know, oh, it's real. Now, this person may not know how to handle everything that was shown to them, and maybe what they seen wasn't really, it was in the spiritual world, but they wasn't close to God or something like that. So whatever trauma that they deal with, but you know it's a real thing though. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes you just got to shut the eardrum off sometimes for a person to melt your eardrums with their problems and stuff like that. Because sometimes you'll open your eardrums too much and that, you know, that person just be wanting to talk. Shout out to Wooski. just be wanting to talk. They just be wanting to talk. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta stop a person too. They'll drain you. A lot of times, even if you're in situations you don't feel drained, I bet 10 minutes passed. I bet 20 minutes passed. You was hearing this person. They was sweating the heck out of your eardrums and stuff. You could have did mad stuff in that 20 minutes. Mad stuff in that. You know what I'm saying? Bad things and prosperity and productive things. That the whole person's conversation wasn't productive. You done wasted about 45 minutes of your life. Y'all don't be seeing it that way because y'all don't be having that going on anyway. So y'all be ready to do that to somebody else. That is like a train event. You know what I'm saying? I be having like, before, I be having about 10,000 things on my mind before I go 10 minutes and stuff like that. And then within the 10 minutes, if it even get there, the first 10 seconds, it better have something to do with the 10,000 things on my mind already, or we already ain't compatible for a conversation. No matter where we at. Know what I'm saying? And it stopped there. My brain, we're always no time. Time is money. Ask the bucket hats. Ask the bucket hats right now. Ask Trump. Then you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know. You might stop wasting time of your life. A little punk conversations, little retard stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want to say a lot of other stuff, but I love that little green button on the side. You know what I'm saying? Tom. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to America. Americana. You know about that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's the real. But yeah, let's understand the seasons. Now, for the most part, you got spring. And like I said, you got 30 days for the beginning, 30 days for the fixated portion, 30 days for the transition of it. So if you want to separate it from astrology, which, you know, that's like Aries, Taurus, Gemini. But if you want to look at it from a spiritual lens, right, it's just cardinal, Them still astrology terms, but I'm just trying to make it simple for y'all. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Spring, then you have some ushering in or initiating in as brand new, right? Again, explosive. But then we get into water, cardinal, and then you get into that fixed fire, Leo, and then you get into Virgo, mutable earth or whatever. So you get cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal, the beginning of it, fixed, it anchoring in and things of that nature. And then the transition of it, mutable, or however the case. So for the most part, let's say you're in your spring. Anytime you're dealing with your personality, trying to construct it, dealing with your personal issues, personal affairs, the people, places, and things you share your personal space with, your personal creativity, and your personal interests. You're at your beginning. Your beginning of spring. Then that's going to lead into the middle of your spring. These are going to be the things you start to value. Now, if you lack that first stage and you're debilitated, you're not valuing your personal space. You're not valuing your personal creativity. You get ready to get washed up in the world in some way, shape, or form. You're not even valuing your personal space like that. Any other personality could take you over. You know what I'm saying? It's going to start with your family. That's going to be the first trauma. But for the most part, here's the thing. Once you understand that and you start to deal with your values and what you have to offer to the world and where you plant seeds at to build your self-esteem, that ultimately is like your creative gifts and talents. You didn't get that from your personal space if you did it in a healthy way. That's you being in your middle portion of your spring. Then getting into the transition. These are things you want to start to communicate because they're ideas now that's on your mind. And you want other people to know about it, especially people you're familiar with. People in your location, people in your environment. So before you even express these things, when it's in your mind is your first body, your spaceship that you flying inside of as a spirit, individual spirit, space, which is a soul. So for the most part, you need to know that is a travel. So for the most part, when you're in your personal space, you're there, beginning of your spring. When you want to go outside or travel a little, you look at it like distance and travel and stuff like that. Because when we get a little further, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. Even how you're interacting with other individuals that play out as more distant from your original starting point, which is your personality you're developing. You valuing that right now, even if you ain't got no personal issue or interest. And then for them, or creative ability. And then that goes into thinking about that and having that on your mind. So it goes into I think. So it goes into I am, I value, I think. Not I think, therefore I am. That's backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's I am, first house, therefore, second house, I think, third house. You see what I'm saying? And that's how you understand natural qualities. Now, for the most part, let's say you're getting into your summertime. Now, your summertime, anytime you add that energy of care, especially if it's extreme, think about what care is. The beginning of summer, the spark of light. It condenses into things of that nature, and then when you get an accumulation of something, it gets to condense and become water. So you're in an emotion, you're in an imploded version of the sun on a micro piece of it. So that's a cloud. A piece of the sun is the cloud and things of that nature. That's what y'all gotta understand. Y'all don't be understanding that. So for the most part, it's a cooled off version of it because it's smaller versions of people. Y'all know how I be teaching. But so when you think about a care, that's like a sun closer, summertime, you getting closer to your solar plexus and your fourth house energy and things of that nature. Your spirit traveling in all your first house starting your head all the way down to your feet, your 12th house. But it play out like a cycle because when you was born as an embryo and stuff like that, you was like a roly-poly little embryo snake looking thing that almost biting your tail with your head fetus. You know what I'm saying? So you did that crushed in, and then you get ready to do that backwards when your spirit get out. Your spirit get out your mind and get out your body, and you look like you get ready to do a backflip. You know what I'm saying? So everything play out like a, you know what I'm saying, a little cycle system, snake, hammerhead, shark, Ouroboros, shoulder blade face, and all that case it may be. Shout out to all the philosophers. I'm saying, creating good words and stuff. 90% of my people gone. You can forget about my language being a common thing that we could just say and everybody knows. That. Welcome to New Orleans. We're coming back. We're coming back. We're coming back. We back, baby. Yeah, I love everybody. I said, what's all just going on? I said I shouldn't even look at the chat. Why did I look at the chat? Why? Why did I look at the chat? There's somebody spamming. Goddamn, I'm spamming. We still paying for K-Bots. We still paying for K-Box YouTube. That's what we do on YouTube. We still, he dropped this album already. I think K-Box ran by Gemini, so I think it's whatever a bunch of Gemini. You know what I'm saying? Because don't they got the new GPS thingy, Gemini something, Gemini Atlas. I always gotta drive across a Gemini bridge every time I'm going to Cleveland. I got to walk under Gemini bridge. Oh, I don't see what is this? Constellation y'all made everything up under. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who a Gemini that's a celebrity, they getting helped by Gemini K-Bots and stuff like that. The whole thing was created by a group of Geminis. I believe it now. I believe it. I believe the K-Bot thing. All of us controlled by Geminis. So we only about to get Gemini comedians, Gemini rappers, Gemini actors and actors. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little Gemini scheme. No, I'm saying some little Gemini scheme going on and stuff like that. I'm peeping game. I'm peeping game. You know what I'm saying? Real. Y'all know y'all opposite to my moon sign. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always playing the devil's advocate to the Gemini. My daddy a Gemini. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all ins and outs. I know all the oil running machines and everything. And Virgos. My mama a Virgo. I know all the ins and outs of the machine. Y'all don't know Virgo, no Gemini. Can't never get nothing. They'll pass me about nothing. I'm saying, and my daughter a Taurus, and all you Taurus, and my favorite cousin, the cousin Taurus. None of y'all, nothing kicking past, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Know the ins and outs of them zodiac. I got another favorite cousin too. That's a Gemini. You know what I'm saying? Him and my dad both was born on the same day as Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Same day as Tupac. Also, all you Geminis, that's strangers to me. Y'all watch y'all words when y'all around me. I know when you know what I'm saying? I'm saying I know how to shut my mouth if I want to release some information that I don't want nobody else to know. I know you ain't the one to tell. You know what I'm saying? Good music though, good music. You know what I'm saying? Good acting qualities though, good whatever y'all. I don't know what it is. Some of y'all even be trash at times. It's just something, a spirit in the world to say, oh, this person is Gemini. They're the best in front of a microphone, or they're the best. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what. There's something wrong. Like I don't know. Like because I'm an Aries, I look at it like it's something wrong. I don't look at it like it's something. If you're a Gemini, you're allowed to look at it like it's something right. You know what I'm saying? I'm an Aries. Dude, I'm an Aries, dude. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Aries the best when I'm on Earth. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care about no mental psyop that I'm still trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Damn sure don't be no humans involved in it. But the K-bot do. You know what I'm saying? The K online it be humans involved. But man, beyond online and stuff, be stuff people going on in real life that you could counterpartmentalize. It ain't got nothing to do with no humans involved. So I'll be like, oh, God got something to do with this. God got something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. I keep things real. But other than that, like I said, right, when we started talking about summer times, now anytime you in extreme care energy or whatever, right, or you feeling vulnerable, or you even got things on your mind that's dealing with your emotional state, home, family, and home don't always necessarily got to deal with a physical place. It could be like anything that make you feel like you're in a familiar, comfortable zone, or you in your heart space. You could be around a friend or a coworker that make you feel like that. You know what I'm saying? A coworker that sometimes you go over their crib, they make you feel like you taking a vacation from your marriage a little bit or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like you want to divorce your partner, whether you're a man and you want to divorce your woman or you a woman want to divorce your man. But it's more just they make your relationship better because that little break over there, over that coworker or that friend house or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So that the care energy or whatever the case, or whoever make you feel that home energy or that familiar energy, they can remind you of something. This person might remind you when you used to be at your grandmother's house growing up before y'all went to church or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. So that's when you know you in your summertime energy. There's a collection of thoughts that came down, but it ain't burning itself out. It's playing out like a nice sunny day, but if it rained, you ain't mad at it either, and stuff like that. So good emotion. You know what I'm saying? Or care, this extreme care energy. You in the summertime. It could get hot if you get too caring about the negative aspect of it, because the next house is the fifth house, the next 30 days. Leo energy, or the middle of summer, the fixated portion. So if you got negative cares, it get extreme, because anytime you jump into that energy of wanting to express yourself or create or getting in your creative aspect, or the things that you choose to entertain. Not entertainment itself, but the things you choose to entertain. You know what I'm saying? Like just another word for what you're focusing on, basically. What you're giving and receiving attention from, or however the case may be. Anytime you're in that aspect spiritually, you're in your summertime. You're in the middle of summertime. The next 30-day portion, the Leo aspect, the 5th house area. So be careful when summer start, when you start to have something you care about. Now, all this things string along from your personality, you developing what you value from that, you wanting to communicate that, and then seeing if it's worth caring about or not, depending on how much trauma in your location and when you're communicating these ideas and it ain't getting the reciprocation you thought you was going to get when you was personally in your own space, developing that value, thinking it's going to be, oh, I'm about to kill him when I get out here. It's about to be the shit. Oh, it's about to be the, you know what I'm saying? You get your feelings hurt or whatever. Now you care about other things. Now you might care 4th house, then get in your 5th house, Leo house, and I want to separate my energy, make this person feel a certain way or whatever. You know what I'm saying? All that extreme emotion start getting expressed. No, I'm saying all that extreme emotion you start wanting to show because your pride got hurt for real, though. That's what it really was. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make it make sense for y'all so you can know this is a train of event that actually happens that you go through. And you could skip process, you could jump in one or the other, but it always has a starting point. And once you know the process, that's when you can get good at it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you in a funk or you in a season too long, it's about time for you to get about that energy, get about that space, that household. Because looking at those walls and stuff like that, develop that body. We all develop in mind states of the characteristics that you're currently maybe leading you to procrastinating, currently maybe leading you to being more negative than positive in your situations, or not being able to let something go so you can have better time portions throughout your day to think about things that is more productive and stuff like that. So you got to keep that in mind too. You know what I'm saying? These things, you got to take these things serious and stuff like that, because it's all cool jumping in the algorithm if you're a content creator also and catching a wave or whatever. But you know, once that wave leave and you ain't substantiate yourself, y'all got to stop caring about views too. Start caring more about substantiating yourself. So when you do a double-edged sword and then you want to jump in things that have something to do with the algorithm, when everybody else did that, they fade with that thing that was on the algorithm, but you sustain because whatever you did that was unique, it's still there. So a person rather hear whatever in the algorithm for you because you still got those intricacies. See, I'm a music maker, so I look at it like this. These be like those B-side songs that you always thought an artist, you always wish the artist would have did a video to that until you grew up and realized wrestling was fake. So you know, oh, they handlers and the label made them put that song out because of whatever was going on at the moment and stuff like that. And we all got to wear Dare t-shirts. Oh, but however the case it may be, you know what I'm saying? So you got to look at it like that. You never know who watching you. So those things that you think you shouldn't do because it ain't getting much views or whatever, that's how you're building your audience. And then when you do try to find the rinky-dink audience that come and go, like a industry plant artist or whatever the case may be, right? So when the time ain't there no more, the artist ain't there no more, any face can replace the person, right? You will be unreplaceable, but you will be in the things that's replaceable. And then everybody that come and try to jump on the algorithm, they're going to be replaced when that trend leave. And the only thing that's going to be sustained is you and people going to start going back to the stuff that wasn't. And then that builds the genuine conversation. Because when people start to think of things on their own and you ain't the complaining one, but it start to become justified when you do complain. When you have enough people to be able to come up with their own mind and be like, well, why people ain't hip to this? That damn, this is in the cut. Damn, this must be shadow banned. Damn, this is the real. I understand why I probably passed it up. I understand why it probably wasn't in my, you know what I'm saying? When you get enough people doing that, now you solidified. And then you can relax too, because you in a pocket where you can do what you want to do freely without the pressure of it has to get this amount of views, it has to get this algorithm. Both audiences understand, the rinky-dink audience that come and go and the ones that's going to be there. So you always be a rock. So y'all got to start being that. If you put out enough bull crap based upon the algorithm, thinking that that's what's going to do, what it's going to do, you just going to be a person that look back at stuff like you need to delete a lot of stuff, or look back at it like, damn, I'm full of a bunch of bull crap. I never really had substantiated myself. A lot of streamers is getting ready to go through that. A lot of streamers, they probably realizing that right now. They like, all right, I got to do something, at least music or something. That's about to be the first thing, but they really should go a little deeper than that, because if you trash that music, especially if you need AI, you ain't a musician. If you already a musician and AI is just an add-on, shout out to Lizzo. She hit me on with I think a little post she made, and she said if you need AI to make music, you ain't a musician. But she said people could get this wrong. She left on the post. She said people could get this wrong. If you are a musician and it's just for an add-on or whatever the case may be, then you're good to go. So that is right. You know what I'm saying? So like people who are already musicians and start using AI and AI type beats for samples and stuff like that or whatever, to make a sample better, so you can create your own sample, not just take from old school songs and vinyls and stuff like that. Yeah, because you're a musician. That's why you had that idea in the first place. Man, you got people who never even had the thought to be a musician and say, hey, Siri, tell me what it means to make bars. Tell me what it means to make this type of song. I said, no, at that point, you ain't a musician, dude. You ain't a musician, home girl. I don't make that no career. Please. You know what I'm saying? Now, that was real. Shout out to Lizzo. But yeah, if you're a content creator, look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Look at this like your MySpace page, and you building family. Don't be trying to build no rinky-dink stuff that's gonna come and go, and you only gonna call them family for that 6 months that trend was lit. Then they going somewhere else, talk about family to somebody else that's just replacing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be replacing and complacent. You want to be sustainable. God is like gold beyond gold. God walk on gold. So you need to know what that means. What gold? What kind of gold is that? That gold is untarnishable. So God be making gold out of character. You want to make your character gold. So it's untarnishable. AKA when that play out, it don't matter if you wearing gold or not. You are gold. You walk in gold. Don't nobody want that subject matter, topic, creativity from no one else but you. And then now, even if you hip-hop musicians jump in that space, y'all can start changing the hip-hop culture into like rock and roll, where it don't matter how old you get, people still only want that type of song or music from you. They don't want nobody else or mimicking or no inverted Future like Playboy Cardi or whatever. They gonna still, no matter if Future 70 years old, they want Future to be Future. If somebody else new come out, let them be them. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the you got that. You better jump in that pocket now. Don't get too hyped. I know a lot of y'all getting hyped by the monetization, and it's a quick dollar. I know. Trust me. I get it. I get it. But I've been there before all y'all. Trust me. It ain't working. I'm like a sustainable rock. It's gold. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to delete nothing. And any videos you thought was up there that ain't on there is on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? I ain't delete nothing. But for the most part, when you get to and also you end up having a type of knowledge that you don't have to delete nothing, because you're not already lost in something that'll play out in other areas where you'll be lost in some things that matter, and then it's now you got to be like, damn, if I'm wrong, I don't want to be right, because you was a Pan-African that long or something like that. If you from Africa, or you a Hebrew Israelite or something like that, or you from Brazil, or whatever, you know how all y'all foreigners be thinking. Then y'all come trying to teach everybody over here like everybody lost, and everybody in the world got taken from their continent or something like that. That's not everybody's story. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta understand that. That don't even be a lot of y'all next door neighbor stories, just because y'all think y'all look alike or something like that. That don't be a lot of y'all stories and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you got peep game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when we start talking about seasons, Cancer, and I'm not saying things like that for people to be like, this cat hating on our respirations like everybody else and Mexicans. Nah, I want everybody to get respirations and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? However you get your money, get it. You know what I'm saying? Or if you could just hustle, like do business, white collar, blue collar, whatever, like however y'all do it. That's one thing I don't do. I don't hate on nobody's way of getting money. I do not do that. But for the most part, when we start talking about summertime, once you have that care energy, right? You're in that first beginning of summer. You're in the middle of summer once you start to express it, or you want to just express yourself, period. A lot of times people be in the summertime not even skipping processes, not even knowing what's going on. So they ain't even got nothing to care about. They just express it. This be the person that always get caught first if y'all doing stuff bad, always getting the short end of the stick, always the person that's the fool for everybody else to look at from a distance to develop wisdom off of and stuff. Person that's expressing themselves, just trying to end up being a people pleaser, pardon me, or end up being an individual that don't know themselves. So they don't know what to express for themselves, so they just expressing what they think other people like to be around or something like that. So these are individuals like that be skipping the process. But for the most part, anytime you in that expressive energy or wanting to be youthful or entertain something, no matter what you're entertaining, that's subjective. The entertainment as an energy itself, the essence, something you entertaining, something you're focusing on, that quality itself, you're in summertime. Because think about it, that's the closest to time the sun from a macro perspective is for all of us, and teamwork makes the dream work. Internally, that's the makeup we're in as a spirit. We're in that space to make that for ourselves before becoming teamwork makes the dream work outwardly for us all to experience as a communion. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you experience it for your own self. You could burn yourself out too, focusing on something too long or something like that. You're giving something too much attention. So when you're giving a mental state too much attention, you're in your fifth house. You're in the middle of summertime, and you could burn yourself out and stuff like that. Start to sweat, start to become nerve-wracking and stuff like that because you overexcited or over worried or over in fear, whatever you over focused on or something like that. Your spirit is in that house putting on some fifth house clothes, expressing itself. When you're in the fourth house, you wearing those type of clothes. I'm caring about something. When you're in the third house, you wearing those type of clothes. I'm thinking and analyzing. When you're in the second house, you wearing those clothes. I'm valuing. When you're in the first house, you wearing those type of clothes. I'm my personality. I'm personally interested. You know what I'm saying? Or I have this personal issue. This is my personal space. My personality. My personal interest. Now, when it comes into the ending of summertime, right? When it's before it gets into harvest season, right? Anytime you get into worrying energy or practicalizing or analyzing again, but over analyzing, right? Because once you start to care, express, now you start to kind of compartmentalize, did you do the right thing or not, based upon did it make you feel good or did the reciprocation or not or whatever like that. And then that's going to make you feel nervous or not, or make you feel like you did something in a perfected way for you can feel that shelter energy or whatever the case, right? That's going to be your sixth house energy. So anytime you're in that aspect of working something out, right? Thinking about or analyzing about your health, thinking about your responsibilities or whatever the case, right? Your things and routines and patterns, your tasks, your duties. You're in your sixth house, traveling and things of that nature. So you have to keep that in mind also, because if you did the process from the fourth to the fifth house the right way, you can make a job out of what you're focusing on, what you're entertaining, and start to wear those clothes and you become entertaining. Wear those clothes, you become creative. Wear those clothes, you set the stage to be the cause of an effect of something and things of that nature. Then it becomes something that you could do in a routine and pattern, or it could become your job or something that you're responsible for or your task or whatever like that, aka something from the fifth house. Your creativity can become your job. The way you express yourself, you can start getting paid off of it. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. Now, when it comes to the seventh house, right? Ooh, yeah, I got a little strap on. Put the thing on my little hole. Put that back in there, you know what I'm saying? So, ooh, I got a big old hole in my stomach. You know, my mother never took my thing to get closed back because I was straining and stuff. So I got an umbilical hernia. Y'all don't want that. That's something y'all do not want. Y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want no big hole, and it's in now because I had this on there for a long time with the strap. But man, this right there, ooh, and then it went in this way. It didn't even go straight. It's all I'm all messed up. I'm all messed up. I'm a cranky person and stuff. Not no more. I be doing stuff though. Like, remember I used to be sick for 2 weeks. Well, a lot of y'all new people, so let me not get into that. But y'all don't know. Y'all do not know. Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on my soul. That's why sometimes y'all see me moving around a lot and stuff like that. I'm uncomfortable for other reasons. I got nerve problems and stuff like. Matter of fact, let me like this. I don't be smoking to get high. I don't know. Just relax. Nerves. Do your research on umbilical hernia and nerve damage, and everything will make sense about WURLDIAH and why he can't never sit still. Everything, and why you might hit 1,000 nails and stuff like that. And it all makes sense. God gave us problems, but it makes us have knowledge and stuff, and we know how to get over it. All right, I'm good to go. All right, now look, check this out. Like I said, right, when we start talking about, pardon me. So after harvest season, you get into I mean, after summer, you get into harvest season, autumn, fall. So that takes us into the seventh house, the eighth house, and the ninth house. That 90-degree spectrum that you could call it years or whatever. Look at it like this, like within the Bible and stuff like that. Moses seen the burning bush at 80 years old. Moses died at 120 years. So it was someone who was understanding spirituality and stuff like that, whether they was around other people's culture and stuff like that. But I know I could tell you from my culture and my perspective and things of that nature, right? It's basically saying the yearly world, God's time is different and God's children's time is different. So when we experience it as ye are the children, not ye or God's, you're not God. Well, you know what I'm saying? If you want to look at it from that aspect of being a spirit, right? 80 years is being spoken as an 80-day for us. So 80 days for us. 80 days from the beginning of spring, Moses, Hiram, pardon me. Think about it. If it's 90 days per season, 80 days in spring is 10 days left. So that'd be the last 10 days of summer. So it's 10 days left, and that'd be 10 days left of Gemini, or whatever the case may be. So that week, that sun pocket, even when the sun and the moon ain't there, is a fixated place, because we always gonna see the moon and the sun be there. So that energy is always there, even when the sun and the moon ain't there. It's an accumulation of whatever the case may be. So that's what we will be considering series, or not, well, yeah, series, right, on a macro scale when the sun is in that position, because the sun is getting ready to reach the macro 12 p.m. So 12 p.m. on a micro scale is what they call it, it's high noon, but they call it the most high. This is what we called it, but they just inverted it. What's the most, El Elyon, right? But that's Native American, right? For an example, it's just a different name for 12 p.m. You know what I'm saying? We, on the medicine wheel, we have names for 6 a.m. all the way to 12 p.m. and 6 a.m. again, and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? And then we give it pockets, 4 pockets, or the 4 corners. And then we, so, you know, the first part would be Skipakia. Then we got Miskaki. And then we got, we got Wabanakia. We got Wabanaki. Then we got Skipakia. Then we got Miskaki. And then we have Debeko, right? So that'd be the white world, the blue-green world that can make yellow. You know what I'm saying? And then we have the red world. Then we have the black world and things of that nature. And then each portion of it, but it's just different terms for time. So El Elyon was a different word for 12 p.m. When the sun is in that position, is at the highest point from day to day on a micro scale. And on a macro scale, that's Gemini getting ready to go in Cancer season. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the house, or tracking Horus moves a house every 2 hours microly and things of that nature. So when you look at it from that aspect, from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning, that's the first house. From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., that's the second house. From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., that's the third house. And then for the most part, that's where you start here. But then when you want to pull out an idea that you may have forgot to present to a conversation that is relative to, you start to look in the Gemini house. And then from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., you have 11:50 a.m. And 11:50 a.m. is right here, the true north. And that will be series on a macro scale for you when you be pulling out ideas that you could keep in that third house, I think, pocket, right? So to present it when it's relative to a conversation, if you have forgot it, right? And then 12 p.m., that's when you have your Noah's flood or whatever the case. And then your emotions that you care about, if you had 2 of every animal, animals is our natures. So it's our characteristics, animals will. This is really native stuff though, y'all. It's the animal. So I'm just giving y'all it in a pure state before it got plagiarized. Animism got plagiarized to paganism. Then for the most part, 2 of every animal is this. You have thoughts, those are men beast, and you have feelings and emotions, those are women beast. And when you go get 2 of every animal, right, you're going to get all your natures, your characteristics, and make them light, not heavy. Make them all light as the feather. That's you not being so reactionary to your emotions and your thoughts, if they have evolved into goals and fleshly fluid pleasures that you wanted and stuff like that. If you made these things light, not heavy and depressing, then for the most part, you didn't got all your thoughts and all your emotions and brought them on your boat, your chakra, your sun, your focus, and then as your first body, and then your spirit is inside of it, anchoring it. And then for the most part, when you want to express that and let people see that shine, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine from the mind at 12 p.m. on the Most High, El Elyon, whatever the case may be, right? So it can't. So when you do this and you bring an idea, it came from your Most High point, mentally and physically, your brain, not your feet. Some of y'all be having y'all gut thoughts, sexual thoughts, organs thoughts, and y'all thoughts out your ass, thoughts inside of your neck, all kind of retarded thoughts. But I'm trying to put you on the game what it actually means. You can't make a better sense out of it though. So now you know where it comes from. Me, Archangel Uriel. The one with the flaming sword, the flaming sword, the flaming horse at nighttime with the flaming sword. Now let's check this out, right? So when you get into my portion, your house, yo who you is, your opposite inside of you first before it play out externally and stuff like that, right? The 7th, 8th, and the 9th house. That creates the cardinal air, fixed water, mutable fire energy and stuff like that. Flaming sword, that's what creates the flaming sword. That gets the wind with pushing the air. Everything get condensed from water, but it's hot, it's flaming, and that the flame scatters, mutable, don't touch the stove. It's hot. You know what I'm saying? Like Archangel Uriel. Western Hemisphere, a whole land mass of the water of America, including South America and Central America. So, for the most part, anytime you think about relating or how you're relating, which externally it becomes what you're attracting as your relationships and things of that nature, but you're in your 7th house. So once you go from worrying or analyzing energy, right, or practicalizing, that's the 6th house. You're trying to construct. You're taking everything you accumulated from the 1st and the 5th house, and once you reach the 6th house, you're seeing what the harvest, you're seeing what to keep, and you're seeing what you don't need. What you don't need, that's probably what you're worrying about, or what maybe you need to protect, or what's getting threatened to be taken. That's the worry energy, or the frustration on something, and you already got it, or however the case may be. Now, how can you make things more easy or relatable or something like that, or a balance, or you need to help someone else out so you don't be in a position of it getting taken and stuff like that. That takes us to the 7th house and your own internal energy. So anytime you start to think about relating or relationships in some way, shape, or form, or and relation with yourself, does this feeling relate to this thought? Does this thought relate to this idea? Does this idea relate to this emotion, or whatever the case may be? So that's the first instinct relatable energy that you could play out as adrenaline to make your organs feel like you could do what you're doing today and not fatigue and out of order, as your mind be scattered too when your body play that out after the fact, but you be thinking you be living in your body first and your mind just responded. No, your body is responding to your mind, not your mind responding to your body. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to keep that also, because once your body already doing something that you got to start to overthink what's going on, it's already too late anyway. You didn't already ate too much bread or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or however the case it may be, whatever. You ain't gonna never escape your mind being the first body, because your first body, if it's already sick, you're gonna start doing sick things. If it don't even appear to be sick yet physically, it might just be a pleasure of yours. You know what I'm saying? But your body gonna start telling you, we ain't eating the right stuff spiritually. Food for thought. So when you think about relationships and relating to others, for the most part, that's your 7th house. Now, when you start to think about secrets or deep passions, motivations, or the ability to transform, you in your 8th house in your fall season, right? You're in your fall, autumn season during that time. Now, anytime you go through a relation, and then you go through that transition to see if it's going to become a bad habit or something that you can kind of present, and it's something that motivates you. So whatever you went through, it motivates you even if it was negative. So when people see you doing something, they don't know everything you're going through inside of you for you to do it that good outwardly. It might be a lacking. It might have been something that you put to death and recharged and things and gave birth to something new. It could have been a trauma, something you went through in the past, something that bad happened to you. A lot of people got sexually abused and things of that nature. So when it comes into the 8th house, these are things that if you transform, put new light to it, the very same things that was leading you into procrastination can lead you into motivation. And now you have a motive. Now you actually can inspire others or whatever the case may be. And when you go through that, now you're going into the ninth house. The ninth house is you putting light on it. If you'll be trying to run away and go from trauma and scared of experiences and things of that nature and be the fool if you didn't do the eighth house right. If you do that season right and you're still in your fall season, then you get to expand, and now you was a student of life, so you was able to learn, and now you're able to teach and be the teacher of that experience and a million of other people who may need some advice, and now you could be in a position of receiving the benefits from being in a teacher perspective, because it don't matter what you do in the world, you're teaching something. All jobs come from teaching, even the made-up jobs. You know what I'm saying? All jobs come from teaching, even hard labor ones. Teaching is what God just taught everybody to do. If you know how to teach something, you always going to be beneficial in this world. If you don't know how to teach nothing, you always going to feel depressed. Now that's so wide for everybody's particular life. This is why you don't know that's the actual only thing that's going on. When you lack a know-how, it's going to lead into depression, that you think you're depressed through your distractions and filtering systems. When you feel good about something, right, it's because you got a know-how. You don't even have to have a lot of the physical things that people lack, things internal, to get external to think that they replace it and think that they somebody. You don't even be needing those things all the way to money to still feel secure, because you got a know-how. And that the know-how goes beyond things we physically get and obtain. It it's an internal thing, and you got God's gold there. So people who even got a know-how to get physical things will still need you as an assistance for some reason or something like that. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to even music artists. You the homeboy or the homegirl that they need in the studio with them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. Don't nobody in the world know you. Everybody in the world all hyped off the person, not knowing that you being a friend, they your biggest fan. I'm saying, without you, they wouldn't be who they is and stuff like that. The world would never know that, though. And don't need to know that. You know what I'm saying? God makes everybody important in the world in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Now, for the most part, here's the thing. When it gets into the winter time, which we're all experiencing now. We right on time. Winter time and things of that nature. For the most part, this is dealing with the 10th house, the 11th house, and the 12th house. But internally, without talking about it to make it make sense like astrology, anytime you're in the thought form, as a spirit, you jumped into that space, 10th house, and in those walls and that house and stuff like that, it creates this type of body. Anytime you're thinking about your status or a status, the status energy itself, and what you're going to make out of it, and it constructed through your physical of whatever that you're doing to make a status in that world, whether it's business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, or sports, or whatever. First, you got to build the character and play the part. So physically, this would be the real fake it till you make it, that don't even play out like fake it until you make it physically. It's just spiritually, you jumped in that house, start to wear those clothes and be like, I am this thing. And then you looked in the mirror like, oh, I like this outfit or whatever. I'm about to make my Barbie Ken doll cold. And then your Barbie and Ken doll is your body. And then you start to express it, the blood flow bend in, and you start to express it with your body. And then you start to get the reciprocation if it's close to what you was imagining or not in the world of makeup. When we making this is real though. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better terms, I had to say the makeup world, but we're making up our mind. That's real thing. We have to make it. We make love. We make hatred. We make reciprocation. We make relatability. We make being in sync. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to be a maker or creator, this is why you a taker. And if you a creator, this is why you're always surrounded by larger percentage scales of takers. And some people don't know they takers. You will start to see that. That'll be the person you probably can look and see something inside of them. We all can see a light inside of each other that we can't see inside of ourselves. That'll be the light you see in someone that probably playing the same role as someone else, but you know they got that slight ability to change it, or they got them expressions where they don't really, you could tell they don't really mean it. They're just going based upon we all grew up watching Walt Disney. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the people that spiritually in that space, they know what they're doing, that bend in as a blood flow, so their facial expressions and body language and the way they move their elbows and left kneecaps move in a way that your spirit always know. This person got those intentions. Their intentions. This person might be doing the same thing, but this person's intending to do it. This person don't know no better. This person got some ideas from people who knew better. They just don't know how to do it that good. This might be a person I can still teach them a lesson. I can still have with me. This is a person I can teach a lesson and then never do it to nobody else. It'll be so many different. You know what I'm saying? This would God be having you at work when you close to God. At work, that people don't be understanding what you realize, that they don't realize that God give you magic tricks, all kind of stuff, and it play out in the world on broader scales because you a bigger spirit to even be there. So the things you create in the world play out more broadly. So hundreds and thousands of spirits be taking on that energy and probably ain't even aware of you. But this is what we all do. Anything we emanate, we have no choice. So it's always important to make it your duty to be close to God. Because you be having the most cleanest, coldest ideas you be presenting, and it don't be about nothing. And wherever that came from, it's mo. You know what I'm saying? So something gets stolen, you don't care. It's more where that came from. But if it start getting stolen too much, God starts showing you, all right, it's something you got to do in the physical world to stop that now. Some people just needed help. What they thought they was getting over or whatever they stole or whatever like that, you really was helping them. Let that one. But now it's starting to get to, you know what I'm saying? And let God tell you when these times is supposed to take place and stuff like that. You just sit and relax. Just sit and relax. And God will give you a better attribute to do something even when it's time to fight fire with fire. Your fire won't be the destructive, negligent one even when it's time to be the negligent, destructive person. You're doing it for God. Whatever you do that might even look like what someone else do is evil, it'll be justified for you because of the makeup, the meaning and reasoning behind it. It'll all be justified, and everybody else will be able to make up common sense and justify also. That's how it works. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? So you don't go looking for it, but God so give you the tools and stuff like that if it try to find you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the nuance behind it. You ain't try to look for it. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, here's the thing. Now, so when I get into the winter season, first you're going to start off with Capricorn. Anytime you're thinking about your status or what you possibly could be known for, accumulating all those energies from the 1st to the 9th house. Now you're in the 10th house. You're wise about things. Now you can start to see what you're known for, how you're seen, and how that could be your business. Negative business is gossip. Positive is what people want to involve themselves in, but you just found yourself being the face of that billboard, right? So you're receiving the benefits or whatever. But these could be mental things. So that could be sophistication, right? How to have discipline, how to be constructed in some type of way. Where a person who may be careless all over the place and stuff like that, you been wearing enough clothes, being in that house, in that space enough to know what it means to have those type of nice clothes. So when a person want to wear those type of clothes, it's just a character you got now. You got the sophisticated character that a person to keep you in mind. And even if you was filling out applications and this person was a manager, they got you in mind before the other bum. You know what I'm saying? So you get ready to get hired because of your sophistication quality, and you was wearing a collar just like the next person. So the only thing different was the character. Your sophistication, that person was acting like they was getting ready to be a damn bum at that job. So for the most part, this is what you need to be building. This get you in all doors and stuff like that when you build your character first and know what season you in. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all be in this season on negligence. You be having unhealthy statuses. Oh, I robbed the most banks. I'm why the world keep happening to me in wrong ways, why I'm the victim and stuff like that. And then it actually start becoming your status. And every time you're around a family, friend, or associate, they run. They put their phone on airplane mode every time your phone pop up when you call them and stuff. They put it on don't disturb and stuff like that because they know they just get ready to hear a sob story. Your status is a sob story, walking mayonnaise bag, a Ziploc bag full of trauma. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time for that. You make a business out of destroying other people's business, taking other people off their duties and you know what I'm saying? Nobody got time for that. Your whole job is to make other people broke. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got time for it. But get out that negative person if that's the season you in. If you're in your winter season, because this distance, anytime we're thinking about our status, that's distance from our personality. This is what we think how it appears to be through the eyes of others. That's distance from the 1st house. That's distance from value. And sometimes you value the wrong things if it's the wrong status or bit of it, you know what I'm saying? Or what you want to be seen as that ego or whatever the case. Because you could belittle someone. And sometimes it's only just in the eyes of a bully. You know, you think you're a bully or somebody, ain't nothing tangible or whatever the case may be. That's very distant from your spring, summer, and fall time. You see what I'm saying? It's a little closer to fall time, but you harvesting the wrong things, the wrong thoughts, the wrong fruit. So you're eating at a time that you need to eat without the time to go get something else, a new thought, a new feeling to act. So you're eating off something that's getting less and less. You got to take from other people's fruit and make you a bully. Take from other people. Oh, he getting ready to get all the chicks. Let me step on his new white Air Forces or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like some hating type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some hating. Like, listen, hating. Like, that's the wrong status, dude. Don't have no status of being a hater. All right, now when they get into the 11th house, the 11th house is anytime you're thinking about what you are associated with or how you conduct yourself in the public arena, right? Now that's distance also, but I don't want y'all to compare and contrast like these negative or positive. It's good to think about these things. It's good because sometimes y'all be unpresentable, especially if you're a content creator. It's good to spiritually travel to your season in the 11th house. Sometimes y'all look unpresentable or y'all speak like anything that you do got good to say will get thrown out the window because how you're saying something and is unpresentable and how you're trying to steer the narrative, that'll throw a person off. A person might feel you, but then the narrative that come behind it, throw a person off like, he had me or she had me, but it's for this though. Oh, get out of here. I want to hear somebody else talk about this. You know what I'm saying? That's how I play out too. So you want to make sure, even if you're a content creator, but in other areas though, and things of that nature. If just when you're thinking about being sociable or how you associate yourself with something, or when you're sitting back looking at your character and thinking about the people, places, and things, or things that if you was to make yourself a part of this, how would that be, or how would it look from yourself? And if you want to consider other individuals and people you care about and things of that nature, right? That may be slightly of a misunderstanding if you add too much of that quality, because the 4th house is in conjunction 150 degrees away from your 11th house. So you might be trying to consider someone you're close to or someone that you have vulnerable experiences with in private, or family members, right? And they might not even had that idea of what you're thinking, how you may be seeing when you're sitting back adjusting your associable energy or what you associate your character with and stuff like that. And you can make their own decision and do something, and they ain't even want that present. You didn't waste your money and stuff like that. So you're like, damn, I shouldn't even already bought them that leapfrog or that tablet. They didn't even want that. Anyway, I could have saved my money. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful that you'll look at these things like mathematics too. You know what I'm saying? That's another quality. But at the same time, when you're looking at it from the 11th house perspective, right? That's when you in that season. Now, when you're in your 12th, the last part of winter before it start off at spring again, right? This is anytime you're in your imagination, your dream. Anytime you're in a delusion, you might not know you're in a delusion yet, and then you start to add ideas within your first body as a spirit soul floating around in your mind. Your first body, like, wait, it ain't supposed to be no snow at a beach. AKA, this idea don't match this idea. Why is I feeling this way? Or this, that, and the third. Or this don't make sense. I didn't make sense. You're dealing with your 12th house energy and things of that nature, right? So you're trying to carve things out, get out of delusions and stuff like that. And you in the last 30 days, 30 years, 30 degrees, Nashaktra asterism of your winter season. So look at your spirit as something that create a mind. Then you create a mind, that's your spaceship. Ultimately, that becomes your solar plexus. Then, as it travel, it has your revolving energy, so you get to see the reflection of it, the full all the way to it become the new aspect of it. That becomes your moon, your mama. So it's like your sun condensing to becoming containers to drop off as egg cells, egg loads, different organs. But just in that space is just you creating your character, your first spaceship, your chariot, your mind, which is your solar plexus first. And then for the most part, as it transitions, you get to see the reflections of it as you making wombs. That's your moon. And then the many different pockets it's in, you could have those eminences start to drop off loads, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. But for the most part, when they're not there, mama or father ain't there, you know that you always get to make those interchanging pockets and stuff like that, which you call those like planets. You know what I'm saying? But it's internal thing, not external. It's just the sun and moon showing us this is what we're doing. And we're making sacks, we're making pockets, we're making numinals, because that's what our spirit is. And then anytime we make a form inside of it, we get to counterpartmentalize and play linear games with ourselves though, and make organs when those condense. But for the most part, is this understanding we're making wombs, we're making egg cells from sperm cells. But that's after it's physical. But as a spirit, we're just making thoughts, and that condense and become a womb, and then it bends in and becoming the physical world, organs. And then we get to make a fleshly fluid version of those things, sperm cell and egg cell. But at the same time, it's just a thought and a collection of thoughts condense into become an emotion. And then for the most part, that's a mind. So you create in the mind when you make a thought. Then when you got a collection of thoughts in your noumenal space, it becomes a womb that your mind that becomes your first body. And then that's your mind and things of that nature, your mama, your maker, or whatever. A collection of thoughts and ideas. They become a feeling, which is an emotion. You know what I'm saying? So ideas, thought, father, have children. Ideas, they all come together, become feelings, and then it stick together and become an emotion. So an emotion is a collection of ideas and feelings made from the father of thought to have a wife now, an emotion. So you have father, you have Lilith. You know what I'm saying? And then this is how you could tell a spiritual lineage, regardless of the body that they're in right now, and what race they are, no matter if they mix. And we know how mix play out. One cancel out the other, so you're just one thing mixed with the other thing. There is no such thing as new races and stuff like that. That don't make sense. We don't see that. If that actually was real, it will. How much time humans been here, there will be new races. It's not. There's still African races and Arabs. There's still Asian races. There's still Native American races, tribes, and there's still European races and their tribes, like Germans and Russians and stuff like that. And there's only 4 people of the world. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to extremely dark people, you have to understand what happened in Africa and stuff like that. Y'all probably South African. The North Africans is like Berbers, so, and then Egyptians. Once you get South African, you start to get Somalian and the darker people. Y'all all Arabs though. You know what I'm saying? And then that's a colonized term too. I don't know what y'all used to call yourselves. Y'all just all that though. You know what I'm saying? So even when you want to look at people who claim they had ethnogenesis over here, no, y'all didn't. Or you should still be mixed with white or something like that, because you're 30% white, but you don't look it. So if you are mixed, the ethnogenesis is based off cultures, not DNA. You might have lost your language, your culture, and you got mixed with Native American and white people culture, right? So we might have fathered your culture, not your DNA. That's only small people. You can see people mixed with black and white. You can see Asiatic and black people and things of that nature. Even though it's the cut eyes, you could tell the difference between a black person that got Asian in their family and the natives. And then natives who mix with Asian, natives who mix with Spanish, native mixed with Africans, native mixed with, you see what I'm saying? You could tell the difference. Then you could tell who's the other thing first. And then that thing, that would be Mexicans. They're Spangler first, then native. That took more of the thing. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So it'll just be the culture thing or whatever. Or it would be no such thing as everybody still being here able to mix. See what I'm saying? So y'all gotta make and if anything, let's say we're talking about this people who call it ethnogenesis. Y'all ethnogenesis was with Arabs. Like, even when you want to say dark Africans, right, or black people, and they want to claim that they have litten up from mixing with white people or Native Americans. No, y'all litten up first from Arabs. So when you think about, it's always going to be more Africans in Africa than America. It's always going to be more Europeans in Europe than in America. It's always going to be more Asians in Asia than in America. And it's always going to be more Native Americans and in America than it is in Asia or Europe or Africa. So it's showing you the continent, the geographical location is making people out the water. Just like the polar bears from where they're from and the panda bears from where they're from. You know what I'm saying? So don't get too lost in national terms and confusing that with DNA conversations. Because the mixed people out of family pockets only last for 1.5 generation. Then it end up being just like Drake child or Carmelo Anthony child or just like me, my mother, and how that situation happened. Or just because if y'all see my daughter or whatever the case may be, if she just go with another native, that's it. They just all native. You know what I'm saying? Or if you see and then especially y'all powerful ass genes, African Americans. You know what I'm saying? Y'all genes be so strong, y'all make people confuse if the one drop rule is actually real or not. You know what I'm saying? How strong y'all genes is and stuff like that. Y'all have sex with a white person. This depending on the person though, and their specific, if they eat right or whatever the case may be. Because then you got Drake cases, right? His mother, he took more of that phenotype, so he's white mixed with black. But then you got a lot of people in the world that the same way, but then you can tell that child or that person is black mixed with white. So I'm trying to make it make sense to y'all so y'all don't get too lost for stuff, because it's stuff y'all be talking about that ain't in reality. You could do it right now and see it don't exist. So y'all can stop with that Siberian arguments. You could do it right now. A white person have sex with an Asian. You ain't gonna never see them make no Native American. You know what I'm saying? So y'all stop that Siberian dumbass conversations. I love all y'all from the bottom of our flight pods, bitch, you know. For sure. You're now listening to the Mind of the Terry's Moon. I'm the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry on God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And look, a white person having sex with a Native American, a Arab Moor, and some African supposedly made an FBA. Trust me, it didn't though, y'all. It didn't though, but that's what they tried to say. Erect the swell, hello, that yellow who, Massasoit, mama the toy. Everybody get y'all mind